What's up, guys? So I'm going to go over a few of my favorite tools related to technology in the classroom that I use in regards to instruction. If you're interested in seeing the other videos for planning or for assessment, check out the links in the description. So first up, the biggest game changer is just getting a screen or a projector TV in your teaching space. I've had one in my space since 2014, and it was definitely a game changer. I did have a projector that was on a cart before that, but because it was always kind of dangerous to bring it out because it would get destroyed or hit by a ball, and it took a lot of time to set up, I didn't really use it as much. So it wasn't really until I got the TV that I really jumped into integrating a ton of technology into my PE classes. Um, let's see, here we go. So this is linked up the blog that will kind of take you through how I set up the TV. And I've actually got a different setup now because we had an admin change, and they wanted me to purchase a pre-made box. But to be honest, I really like this setup better because I got to do it myself, and because the lid opens and I can easily access all the cords and everything. But I have links to all the other stuff. Basically, we got one of these screen protectors that's linked up here from a company called TV Shield. But you can build a box like this for around $200 if you're looking for a cheaper solution. So check that out. And I use the TV for lots of different stuff, even just simple things like Google slideshows or follow the leader dances. So here's an example of a follow the leader dance that we were doing around Christmas time, a Santa Just Dance video. And you can see the kids all spread out and following along to the screen. So there's tons of different things that you can use it for once you get the screen set up, just showing examples of highlight videos related to different units that you're teaching and showing kids examples of professional athletes. It's really engaging and motivating, and it's definitely made my teaching a lot more effective. One big thing is animated GIFs, which I'll show you a few examples in a little bit. So once you have a screen, you can start using all of these Google Slides and kind of creating different illustrations and video embeds and things like that for your lessons. And here's a couple of resources for Google Slides. So first up, Slide Go is a good resource to check out for templates. So if you're just looking for pre-made things to kind of go off of and then edit and change the text and things like that. Like here's an anatomy lesson that might be good for health teachers. That's a really great resource for you to check out, Slides Go. And then if you want to see an example of how I create GIFs, you can check this out. This blog will take you through a really detailed tutorial of how I set up a green screen and record these into videos, and then convert those videos into GIFs for all of my different follow the leader resources and GIF resources and things like that, which I use all the time and have been definitely using for distance learning as well. And then here's another example of how I use GIFs on iPads. Basically, this is an example of our, I'm sorry, this is what I thought it was. This is a balancing lesson. So this is actually just an example of how I use Google Slides. So I'll throw the GIFs up. You can see we're using these warm-ups so the kids would choose a travel from the previous week that we were working on, and we did that for a couple minutes. And then in this lesson, I call it this or that. So I would offer them two options of different balances they could try, and they would choose which one they wanted to do, and then we would have a little discussion afterwards. So I'd give them maybe like 60 seconds to pick a balance and try it out. Then we would talk about which one was harder, which one required more strength, which one required more flexibility, and so that's a fun activity, and you can do that for any different unit that you're doing. Just providing two options for kids. Kids love that choice. And this is another example of adding those animated GIFs and Google Slides to iPads. So what I did for this one was our school has an iPad lab that they allow you to check out. So I checked the iPad lab out for the week. And I really only think I checked out like 8 iPads because we only had 8 stations. But I would set the iPads up. This one's projecting to the TV. But I'd set the iPads up at different stations, and the iPads would give the kids a visual of what they were doing. So this is the jumping station. So the kids are jumping, doing different jump tricks off the jump boxes. And then I had the ones that were close to plugs, I had those plugged in so they didn't die. Let's see if I can find another one example for you. Yeah, like here's one over by our pull-up station. Had some examples of different levels of pull-ups that they could try. So level 1, 2, 3, and 4, different difficulties all the way to a full pull-up. So we're doing different modifications. So that's one example of a way that you could use iPads. Those are all just in a Google slideshow that I connected to a QR code. And then when you scan the QR code with any iPad, it'll take you right to the slideshow or the website that you connect to it. So that's using slides and animated GIFs. Can't say enough good things about my wireless mic. I taught for probably 8 years without it, and it has been such a valuable part of my teaching, not only to save me energy, but so that all kids can hear you while you're talking in like a calm voice. If you want to see the exact setup that I have, you can check out this link here. I have a little video going over the mic that I use, how I set it up, and a link to the exact model that I have. Another important thing that I think folks should be doing is just documenting your lessons and your teaching and taking pictures and videos throughout the day of what you're doing to advocate for your program. Because if you're like me, you don't get a lot of visits from parents or admin. I mean, I'm not going to say a lot. They come down every now and then, maybe like once a month or once every 2 months. But unless you're taking videos and pictures and sending out a media blast of what you're doing, your parents, your teachers, and your admin is not really going to know the awesome things that you're doing in your program. The two apps that I use for this are iMovie, which I would recommend using if you're doing a YouTube video, because it's a little more, it has a few more features on there that you can use for wider videos. But if you're going to do a square video, I would recommend checking out this Clips tutorial, which is a great free app that's, I think, owned by Apple. But it makes really great square videos. It has some cool features like there's a caption feature where you can caption things. It does auto captions and different filters. So the videos that you guys saw on my Instagram channel, that like filter that's the cartoon that kind of blocks out the kids' faces, that is using the Clips. So any square videos, I always use the Clips app. And then longer videos, I would recommend checking out iMovie. And if you want to see some examples of like what I mean when I say like sharing what you're doing, you can check out this homepage of my PE site, and you'll see a bunch of examples of my kids in physical education. So what I'll do is when I make these videos, I'll send them out to my teachers and also copy the admin, and then they'll put them on the Facebook page, Twitter page, and the teachers will email them out to the parents. So just a great way to showcase the awesome things that you're doing with your kids in your gym. And moving on down to using a timer or countdown or stopwatch to just time challenges. This is just a super simple way to integrate technology. If you have a way to project it, that's even better. If it's really big, they can see it from everywhere. One thing that we do is the fastest class challenge warm up. So for this challenge, basically, you're going to time the kids as they run around the gym. Let's see if I can get, there we go. So the way I have it set up right now in this video is I have an iPad, which is on a little wall mount, and that is projecting to the TV. And we put a 5-minute timer up there, and we play the timer for 5 minutes and play some music, and the kids jog as many laps as they can in 5-minute time. And then at the end, we take all the classes and write their scores down and get an average laps per student. And then they get a trophy to take home, which you can see a quick example of. Where's it at? There it is. So the class that runs the most laps gets to take this trophy to their class for 9 weeks until we do the challenge again. And then they get like a small reward, like they get to have a free choice day or get to choose an activity for the last 10 minutes that they want to do. So that's a way to use timers, but then you can also use a stopwatch app if you're doing a challenge like, for example, the endurance challenge. So this is a jump rope challenge. So it's starting on 0 and it goes on up. And I've got a couple timer apps on my YouTube channel. Not timer apps, timer videos on my YouTube channel. So you don't even need an app. You can literally just plug your computer into your projector or TV and play it. And basically the kids see how long they can go, and they can write their name on the 1 minute or the 2 minute, 3 minute wall. So any kind of like challenge, like a balancing challenge, hula hoop challenge, jump rope challenge, you could use that same concept. I was trying to see if the timer was linked up. I'd have to look for it on my YouTube channel, but it's just a basic timer that goes up to 5 minutes and fills up the whole screen. So you could use that if you want to. Check out the YouTube channel. Screencastify is what I'm using right now to record this video. So it's just a little Google Chrome plugin, and you can record your screen. There's a free version, and I've got the paid version. I think it was like $25, and it allows you to download the video, share it really easily. There's no recording limits or anything like that. So great tool. There's a really good free version, and you can also get the paid version for pretty cheap, or maybe get your school to purchase it for you, especially if you're doing virtual learning. Google Meet's a great tool for meeting in class. And then another one we'll talk about in the assessment video is Flipgrid, which is also a good tool for like doing an online class, but then having a little bit more assessment features as well. But Google Meet's good for live videos, as well as Zoom, which I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with. And then another great way to use technology for instruction is just creating instructional videos. So all the videos I create, like the follow the leader type videos, are in this category. And then also when you find yourself saying directions over and over and over again, the same thing, just create a video around that. And then you can, like in this example, show your kids the video with all the directions. You know that you're not going to leave out anything because you made the video that includes everything that you needed to say. So you don't have to wonder if you missed a specific point or a bullet or a thought. You can make sure it's all in there in the video. And then while they're watching that, you can set up for that activity. So these kids are watching the curl up video. If you want to see a couple of examples, you can check out this blog post where I go over how I do my fitness testing. And you'll be able to see the examples of the curl up explainer video, sit and reach explainer video, and push-ups explainer video. And I do this for anytime I'm going to be saying directions over and over again. I will make a video so that I can make sure I don't miss anything, and also to save time for my students and allow me to set up for an activity while they are getting the instructions. So those are some of my favorite instructional technology tools. Hope that was helpful, and let me know if you got any questions.